Chat, we got ourselves another game. Nwpo versus TRK. Now, you may have just watched. If you're here live, you definitely just watched. But if you're on YouTube, it was the video before this, I'm sure. Nwpo versus Evo in a best of 7. The first ever. I'm about to spoil the other the results, so if you haven't watched it, you should go back and watch it because it was truly a match you need to watch. But the first ever 5-0 in a best of 7 for Nwpo. He forfeited for some reason game 4 instead of letting it end so that he could have one more game. A crazy performance from him, and he's feeling great. So we're going to get him against the best 1v1er in the game right now, potentially. Now, people on YouTube are roasting me for calling a little bit too many players the best in the world, which is fair. But I think 1v1ers, in terms of players who have had the best 1v1 performance in the past few months, you've got to think it's Jack or TRK. Certainly they're in the conversations. So can he take down Nwpo, who seems completely on fire? Nwpo looked unreasonable in the previous show match. But TRK might be the toughest opponent we can get him. Nwpo, the reset. It goes in. 2-0. It's interesting to see, you know, a new defender not be able to handle it as well, because we just watched one defender look lost trying to defend every single thing that Nwpo could throw at him. And so far, it's been the same for TRK. But he might get into the zone here. You never know. Another kickoff one for Nwpo. Another wall to air dribble. TRK coming from the ceiling actually is able to convince Nwpo to drop the ball low. And then TRK intercepts it. He's got an air dribble of his own. He's going to go musty. Nwpo gets the save. That's the craziest part about his performance today, is he's also had elite aerial defense on every other aerial attack at him. He has never let anything pass. At the same time, being just completely lethal on offense. Nwpo ultra aggressive. And this ball bounces far off the wall. It seems like he's making a mistake, that he is getting himself out of position in once, but what has happened? No, he gets back to the ball. He demos TRK. He gets the reset, and he gets the shot behind the defender. 3-0. Nobody should have accepted a challenge against Nwpo right now. We'll see if TRK might warm up a bit. But my goodness. We are watching the best ever 1v1 gameplay. This is actually insane. All right, Nwpo's going to get scored on. He's not a superhero. It's possible. TRK, a nice barrel roll into the diagonal flip to power shoot it to the top shelf. Cool off the in fuego Nwpo. Direct kickoff goal for Nwpo. As if the world needs to get right back in balance. He's immediately slamming one in. TRK front flip flick. Crossbar and out. Nwpo has put a glass wall on his net. Even when he's not saving it, the post just helps him out. Does it for him. Pre-jump from Nwpo. He's just able to instantly neutralize TRK's dribble. TRK, you know, one of the more threatening air dribblers in the game. Because Nwpo's up so quick, he has TRK thinking twice about it. And then he just positions himself perfectly to still be able to cover the play, which is what's so hard about pre-jumping that early. Normally you pre-jump that early, and you're going to see the person who's air dribbling, TRK in this case, dropping the ball down because he's going to be able to expose that pre-jump fairly easily. It's so hard to land in a good spot to be able to handle the ensuing ground play that the offender is going to go for. But Nwpo is covering everything. He is not leaving any windows open despite pre-jumping as early as he has. And Nwpo, this time he doesn't get a save. In and out of his net, off the kickoff. TRK does get it past him. Oh, this doesn't seem like the right way to defend this, but I mean, Nwpo's proven me wrong before. The slow double jump up onto the top of his net and then out back in front of it just doesn't seem like the right play. Right now, how can we doubt anything that Nwpo does? Nwpo delayed here. Ends up slotting it into the top shelf. Thought maybe that TRK could recover quickly and fly up to the corner of the net in order to get the save. But by slowing it down, he forces TRK to hit the brakes. You see TRK coming with like 30, 40 boosts, a good amount of boosts as he comes back to the net. But when Nwpo switches up the pace like that, he makes TRK kill all of his momentum, come to a complete stop, and then much more secure in the shot. Whereas if he takes it early, TRK gets to keep all that momentum despite running out of boost, just by purely, you know, not being forced to break. So smart gameplay from Nwpo as he chases down TRK. Still going to wall dash away from the play, and oh my goodness, what a dead ball 50. And the Doomsy Dish. Nwpo 7-2. This is crazy. This performance is truly insane. TRK, I've watched him destroy so many players with 50s in Gamers 8 in 1v1. And Nwpo is not going to be one of those players now. The pinch is nothing. Rolls the ball to TRK. Certainly not what he wanted. And TRK air dribble for a third. TRK can't get back in this. I know I already see it now. People, you know, criticizing me for not maybe being as excited about TRK's nice plays. But Nwpo has been truly putting on an insane performance. I do think TRK will get warmed up here. He'll get going. And we will see him match this truly incredible performance before long. But can he do it with a minute 13 left to go? Great fake to get Nwpo in the air, and he will squeeze it underneath. Finally, somebody else in one of Nwpo's games seems to be controlling the pace and dictating what happens on the field. Great use of the fake to get Nwpo in the air. 7-4, minute 7 left to go. Nwpo trying to win his 6th straight 1v1 on stream right now. Nwpo reset. TRK pre-jumped it. Can TRK cover low? He can. Nwpo lacking a little bit of power to sneak it underneath the recovering TRK. Nice bump. TRK with only 20 boost, though. He has to be very careful. That's why you see him not using it. Doing his best to gain control without it. Oh my goodness, Nwpo. What an own goal. Throws out the faking. He slammed it against the post. We won't make him watch it again. It was clear what happened there. Trying to recover in time and just couldn't quite get there. TRK, 30 seconds. He can change the whole flow of this match if he can get 2 more goals here and not let Nwpo start off with an early lead. That'll be a tough task. He has Nwpo low on boost. Falling in front of this dribble, but he still gets the reset to 50! TRK! He is up for the challenge of playing an on-fire Nwpo. And even though that was not one of the better setups, it's TRK we're talking about. So he finds a way to get a perfect shot out of it. 14 seconds left to go. Late flip from Nwpo, I feel like, on that kickoff. But he wins it heavily. He gets TRK to jump. He's actually not even going to take a shot from it. He's worried that TRK might get a save, even though there's likely going to be another free goal. Now Nwpo needs this ball to hit the ground. He's got the entirety of the field to hit, but he wants to hit the net! He wants to hit the net. He doesn't just want to hit the ground. He wants to make it a 2-goal win. Look at this. The ball about to hit the ground before crossing over, but Nwpo's there to pop it up and in. My goodness. The fire continues as Nwpo goes up early, 1-0. 6 game wins in a row for Nwpo. The first, though, against TRK in a best of 5. Gonna need to find 2 more. And I would say the last 2 minutes of the previous game were actually in favor of TRK. TRK, I would say, borderline has momentum coming into this game number 2 if it weren't for that final clip that Nwpo put on. TRK killing this ball, looking for 50s. He is a monster in the ground game of 1v1. And he is showing that to Nwpo now. You do not want to play Nwpo's game, which is the ball high-flying, arcing with air dribbles on every possession. He has shown that he will get the better of anybody he's playing against. So I think it's smart for TRK to work in as much ground game low 50s as possible. Nwpo flipping away from the play. I don't expect TRK to take the air dribble, but he will. As he flies up, Nwpo covers it with the pre-jump. And as he cheats out to the midfield, TRK says, gladly I'll take my free goal. And you see TRK actually gets around this ball slowly. If you watch it from his perspective, he's thinking about clearing it, but he doesn't just like rush the ball and rush directly into it to clear the midfield, because he knows if Nwpo comes all the way out, then he's just going to get a free bucket. So he almost wants to convince Nwpo that he will be hitting the ball to the midfield by delaying that as long as possible. And then he turns around and takes his free goal. In fact, it should be 3-0 here. TRK is absolutely on his way back in this show match. Nwpo will take a direct kickoff. Had to this time, especially on the high bounce. Although he has turned a bunch of equally as one kickoffs on the ground into walled air dribbles instead of immediate shots like this. Nwpo. Reset. TRK from the ceiling. Nwpo just going to try and 50 him. TRK does a great job to stop it. I'm not sure what Nwpo was hoping for on that touch. He was never going to get a strong shot. And he was guaranteed, because he had his momentum going away from the play, to not come away with possession. But how did this pre-jump challenge, flying in all the way from his back corner, end up working out? He's going to do another crazy challenge. He almost has an angle on a shot. He's thinking about trying to go for it, but TRK has a huge advantage in boost, so Nwpo all the way back to his net. He has loved going in and out of it, but he's not going to get a save this time. Nwpo throws the nice one. Credit to TRK, who is, even though he went for the aerial game, he's playing the low aerial game. And the safe 50 option, I mean, he was covering that ball. Even if Nwpo did make contact, he was not likely to get the save. Nwpo now, air dribble of his own. Will he go for the bump? He will. And TRK cannot muscle through him. TRK just waiting too long. But how can you not wait when Nwpo can bring him out just anything in the air? TRK should have another goal here. 5-2. Yeah, lots of people do the wave dash kickoff. Have these guys not been using it? Another direct kickoff. 6-2. TRK putting some distance between himself and Nwpo right now. Nwpo. Wall dash to gain control of the ball. Oh, he got TRK completely dusted. Surprised TRK tried to challenge that early. I don't think Nwpo really planned on, making a touch this quick, but when he saw TRK coming, he said, oh, I'll just pop it over the top of you if you're going to be this aggressive. TRK pre-flip should be another goal. TRK has gotten about 4 of these direct kickoffs, and let's watch what Nwpo's doing. I think it's probably worth checking. He is going for a straight diagonal kickoff, which is not a problem when the other player is going for it as well. TRK has just been able to get goal side of the ball so quickly. Just launching in for a direct goal. This time Nwpo gets a 4th. Chat, thank you for sending smiley faces with highlighted chats. I appreciate that. Smiley faces in chat if you're enjoying today's show match. TRK, a dribble, a 50. He has brought the pace of the game to what he prefers, and he has been able to work in a bunch of 50 goals around the goal line. Ooh, what a pre-flip by TRK. You see Nwpo holding off on his flip till the ball got to a position where he could shoot it. TRK was able to break it up, but this is still going to be a goal for Nwpo. The back and forth of the kickoff game right now, something that these guys need to figure out. Nwpo looking like he was going to come out the better of this one. TRK gets a good challenge into the midfield before Nwpo. This flick high. The boost stolen, though. How long can he survive when TRK is so effective in ones? He does it again. Another 50 play. This time, lobbing the ball a little bit farther away from himself than he normally does, but still covering every angle of the clear perfectly. Nine 5. 2 minutes left to go. This is incredibly high-scoring game number 2. Nwpo, it's been a while since we've seen him back in his air dribbles. I truly feel like the fire that he's been playing with is maybe finally put out off of just the nature of a ton of great kickoff goals from TRK, which just including goal replays and, you know, restarting kickoffs is just a lot of time to wait around. Plus, he hasn't been letting Nwpo get to any of his walled air dribbles to keep that flow going. That's a great challenge, though. I don't know if Nwpo's going to find a way to score it because the ball ended up going so high. Yo, Disrupting Bowels, thank you for the prime for 3 months. Nwpo, the reset, the fake. And it is 6-9 with 1:18 left to go. Nwpo, this would truly be magical if you could bring this one back. The way TRK has just been controlling the entirety of this game right away. Started it off with, I believe, the 3-0 lead, and has just controlled it ever since. Be quite the steal for Nwpo, but there is time. TRK, his air dribble pre-jumped. I'll tell you what, he's had so much success on the ground, or at the very least with very low dribbles, ones that are not quite making it over the crossbar. He has been able to pick Nwpo apart, but anytime he tries to air dribble high and head to the zone that Nwpo has dominated, has always been preferential for Nwpo. Now Nwpo, a carry. He's going to go air dribble bump. He is! He's got 43 seconds to get 2 more. A solid air dribble bump. We don't need to watch it this time. We've seen what he does in the air. Great bounce for Nwpo. TRK, even though he's going to get this first touch potentially, it's going to be really hard to get an extended defense. In fact, it's probably going to end right here. The post helps just enough. Nwpo throws the woo. The long shot with the bounce is going to be in off the continuation. So that is probably the end of game number 2. TRK securing it. Nwpo needed to not slam it against the post, but I'm not sure he had much option. He maybe could have played a little bit slower to make sure he got the angle. Technically, I guess game number 2 is still possible, but surely not now. (11-7). What an incredibly high-scoring game. Make it 7-12. TRK trying to make a point here at the end of the game. Will you be doing a show match with Jan? I hope so. I've been talking to Mateus to try and set one up, so we might get one. I have tomorrow, chat, and then I'm going to be on vacation for like a full week, so it is going to be a juicy week for 1v1, I bet, while I'm gone. I think you're probably going to get a lot of juicy matches from Johnny. And then I should be back right before Worlds starts, so hopefully I'll be able to get a few show matches between players who are in Dallas. But apparently Jack is getting to the US pretty early. I was watching Johnny's stream where Jack was helping cast, and I think he mentioned it's only a couple days before he goes to Dallas, which means there's going to be tons of opportunity for Jack against the North Americans. Are you going to Worlds? Yes, but I'm only going to the final portion, the final weekend. None of the wild card. Game number 3. Can Nwpo bounce back? That is the question that we don't know, and we'll find out right now. A direct kickoff goal is not a bad way to start. But before this previous game, Nwpo had won, 6 straight games on stream, doing so with about a 0.5 clip per goal ratio. Literally half of his goals could go in a montage. And TRK finally silenced that. And did so with a ton of goal line 50s. And a ton of kickoff goals as well. Nwpo, wall to air dribble. He's been wanting back into the air for so long. He actually sees TRK coming out of the corner quickly and maybe decides to just launch it into the opposite corner for a second chance later after stealing the boost. Now he's only got 7. He's going to have to lob this for a decent shot. Good enough to take TRK's corner, but I have a feeling TRK still has a decent amount. And even though he doesn't, and I was wrong about that, he does pick up 100, but Nwpo, he touched it too strong. I wasn't watching from his perspective, but I think if he had gotten a lighter touch, he should have been able to get a second one and shoot on an open net, but Nwpo's not one to play slow at any moment. He's not going to slow down, not even for a goal. What a save! Nwpo. I don't know how deep that ball got in the net, but he reacts just in time. TRK, the reset and the bump as well, tying up the game. Nwpo not able to get to this one. 28 boost, and I'm not sure he would have gotten that save if he didn't get bumped. Either way, that was going to be a goal. TRK, direct kickoff goal. So many of these that we just weren't seeing before. Let's watch from Nwpo's perspective again. Trying to push right. I think both of them did. TRK maybe just getting there a little bit earlier. They were mirroring each other perfectly. TRK not going to pass up a wall to air dribble, despite the fact that Nwpo's defended them really well. The musty is too high. Now Nwpo. TRK is pre-jumping his dribbles, so he'll take a dribble on the second attempt instead. What a great coverage of that 50 to not let the ball go anywhere in his half. TRK even turned it around slightly, but Nwpo has another chance. The air dribble, TRK, great coverage. He's had enough of those bounce dribble fakes because Nwpo has really preferred the high bounce instead of taking that first shot, basically faking the first shot into the high bounce and then trying to do something out of it. So TRK just predicting that this time around and is able to cover it. Now TRK going for a double. Nwpo pre-jumping, and he barely gets the touch. You actually see TRK not slamming the ball on purpose, trying to get a really soft touch to get a tight angle to get it past him, but wasn't quite able to do so. Now TRK, a save again. He is not letting any of these fakes make it through like Nwpo was getting away with earlier. Nwpo, ground dribble. He can't really do much. He doesn't have enough boost or time to cut around the ball to get it on top of his car. There's only so much you can do when you're sitting behind it. So he just slow rolls it in. He's going to let TRK have the shot. His four-step in the air to move the ball. You actually might have this counterattack shot, though. Just barely wide. He did have a decent spin on the ball, which enough ground contacts could move it in, but not quite. Nwpo, if he finds a way to score this, TRK in the air. TRK has it figured out. The start of this series, he wasn't covering the aerials very well, but now every time he's been up, he's gotten a really good challenge. That TRK from the ceiling, a catch, launching it way too high. Nwpo cannot get any sort of good contact, and I think he sort of feels backflipped himself. Right here, yeah, I think that made it much harder for him. If he doesn't do that backflip, he's going to come into that play from a way better angle, and it'll have a much easier read. I don't think he loses that challenge if so. Nwpo, the speed. Honestly, a very surprising low-scoring game after what I think ended like a 13-8 or something crazy like that game. The previous one, we only have 1:30 left to go, and it is still just 3-2. TRK flipping back to the ball, letting Nwpo have the midfield boost. It's going to be a tight angle for this setup. Nwpo tries to play the wave dash into the low 50. He's going to stay on top of the ball. We shouldn't be surprised. Now he's completely out of boost. Able to pop it over TRK, and he actually positions himself intentionally in front of TRK to make sure he steals his corner. Now TRK with enough pads to make a flick. He's going to go fake. Doesn't dare try and steal Nwpo's corner, so Nwpo will have 100. Air dribble, you got to think bump the way he's been bumping him before, but TRK able to find a way around it. That has everything to do with the fact that Nwpo set up the dribble around the post, where TRK can basically camp on the back wall and wait until the perfect moment. If you take it a little bit more center, that defender doesn't have the luxury of making that late adjustment. And now TRK with control, able to get a 2-goal lead, which in the previous game would be nothing at all, but in a much lower scoring affair here, it's actually quite a significant lead. Nwpo looking for a crazy double. TRK actually has the read off of the top corner of the arena. 30 seconds left to go. Nwpo. The bounce. The aerial shot. TRK has it covered. Nwpo could not demo TRK off the map. He needs a goal and he needs it quick. I'm not even sure if he could get away with taking this to the back corner. Definitely has to score on this dribble. TRK gonna try and defend it from falling off the ceiling, and Nwpo does score. TRK's gonna give him the nice one. This game is completely changed. Who needs the ground when we could just float across the skies, apparently, Nwpo and TRK. TRK could not intercept this one, though. So 6 seconds left to go. Nwpo has gotten at least a couple direct kickoff goals. He needs one here bad. Is TRK gonna change his kickoff up at all? Doesn't seem like it. And Nwpo, who's going to have to go for yet... Oh, he can't get under it. He wanted to get the ball all the way to the back wall where he could start another one of his dribbles. Just couldn't quite get there. So TRK, 2 games in a row and a 2-1 lead in the series. Game number 4. TRK 2 in a row, looking for the gentleman's sweep. Letting Nwpo have the first game, but trying to end it there. Lots of kickoff goals in this series. These guys, for the most part, sticking to the same kind of kickoff. I think they've been going standard kickoff frequently. On the diagonals, they've tried a couple different things, because I know TRK there went directly into the ball diagonal as opposed to going goal side, which is something that Nwpo was doing a lot and was actually getting himself scored on. So I'm surprised to see TRK match him instead of trying to still get the free goals that he's gotten a few times. TRK, what a pre-jump. Before Nwpo had even thought about chipping it up into the air, TRK was already there, and Nwpo just couldn't stop it in time. What a pre-jump. TRK is trying to just top Nwpo in every category. Nwpo was the one who had the craziest pre-jumps I had seen on stream. TRK trying to take that accolade as well. He has looked solid in the air. Maybe not quite as insane as Nwpo, but doesn't matter as long as he gets the wins. And he can't stop this low 50. He's blown away that Nwpo didn't take the ball into the air. How could he have ever predicted that? TRK to catch. Great precision on the flick, considering how little boost he had. He's going to force Nwpo into a tough position, or it should have been a tough position, but Nwpo actually realizes he doesn't need boost either. He gets a great 50. And then is able to slide with a late wave dash on the diagonal flip into an immediate follow-up flip in order to get underneath the ball, catch it, and flick it into the net. I think TRK was expecting a take into the corner to reset on boost. Nwpo, he slotted in. Ooh, the window was open. Tried to just launch a power shot before TRK covered the net. Missed just barely wide. TRK in the air, the reset, Nwpo, the miss! He was not doing this earlier. So credit to TRK and his continued attack. He has eventually broken down somebody who's looked elite in the air dribble defense. TRK immediate kickoff goal. I think that's going in. 4-2. Was this another diagonal? No, this is straight on. TRK trying to push that one right. I think Nwpo was looking to push it left. Nwpo getting a bounce. A poor first touch. And despite the fact that he is maybe the best at turning a poor touch into something, this one was impossible to turn into anything. Does challenge the midfield. Strong touch to the side wall. The catch, TRK faking coming off the ceiling and then just goes to the back wall. Able to cover low. Love to see that from TRK. Gets Nwpo thinking twice. to not play quickly in the air and instead make him think he has an opportunity to go underneath him. And he covers that as well. The problem is Nwpo still able to get a solid challenge and eventually turn it in for a goal. Another great setup for Nwpo. You know he's going to catch this ball wheels first, the way we've seen him playing. But there's just a little bit too much separation off the wall. He has to accelerate so much just to get to the play, which I think forces his hand a little bit in his options. When you have one of those slow dribbles that you can control from the beginning, and you can truly threaten anything in the world, but when you have to make up as much ground as he did, you're going to have to play the ball fast. There's no way you're killing it well enough to make a slow dribble. So TRK doesn't have to plan for that. You can expect the fast play and pre-jump the read and get a 5th goal. TRK, this midfield is not going to spawn in time for him, but it's not going to matter. Nwpo likely launching it over the top of him either way. TRK could have stayed around this play and maybe gone for what would have been a really poor touch on the ball. That's why you see TRK retreating. He doesn't want to try and 50 Nwpo here on the side wall, especially from that position. It would not be a good one. One that likely Nwpo would follow up, but in retrospect, better than the option, which was Nwpo just getting a free goal. Wow. This was a great recovery. An offensive recovery, what was almost a huge blunder after a great fake. He's able to just fly back out behind the ball and chip it in for a goal still. 5-5. Halfway through the game. These guys locked in a tie game. Nwpo, the direct kickoff win. So many of these in this series. Chat pointing out neither one of these guys going to the wave dash kickoff. Specifically calling out Moxie, who certainly uses it most, but most 1v1 players will dabble in a tons of different kickoffs. We haven't seen either one of these guys fake the kickoff either. No direct fakes. Sorry, I don't know what, I always think of a poor word. There's faking the kickoff and then there's just ignoring the kickoff, which we see a lot of people do on diagonals. And neither one of them have ignored a kickoff ever, let alone faked one, or used a wave dash kickoff. They are just going to continue to stick to these standard kickoffs where they get, left or right side of the ball, try and push it past as they rock, paper, scissors each other on what angle they're going to pick each time, trading kickoff goals. Nwpo. Ball to air dribble again. TRK once again flying to the ceiling to threaten the high save. He's been able to cover Nwpo on that second bounce, which is a position that he has been very versatile in. Able to get almost anything he wants. TRK's ready for it now. He's accepting the fact that if he gets a good enough fake high, that Nwpo's not likely to go over the top of him, and then he knows what's coming next is that play off the bounce. And now this time, he has baited Nwpo into trying to score over the top of him, and that comes from a ton of fakes in a row. That shot right there is the culmination of a series of fake challenges high, where TRK shows he's going high, maybe pre-jumps, maybe drives up high on the wall, but never actually does it. So Nwpo's finally thinking, you know what, I need to try and punish him. I need to try and squeeze it over the top of him finally. And instead, he misses slightly too high, and he gives TRK an absolute free goal. So TRK cashing in on a defensive effort he'd made over the entirety of the series. Got TRK double jumping into net. Nwpo flick too high, making sure to pop the ball before stealing the corner boost. And now a great shot. Great air roll of his car to get into this flip to make sure the angle stayed above TRK and never give him a chance. 8-7. He wants to give chat a game 5. Another direct kickoff and another tie game. Nwpo just perfectly mirroring TRK. TRK's, I think, had a little bit cleaner setups in those exact same kickoffs, which is why you've just seen him have the slight edge. But it is very interesting. Both these guys are so steadfast in their decision to not change their kickoffs at all. They're more than willing to play an 8-8 game. You know, it means tons of free goals for both of them. Now, Nwpo having to start this from the ceiling. Gets the reset and actually slots it past TRK. It did not seem like the window was available behind him. TRK was covering the post. It looked like, you know, the entirety of the net was open on the other side of the field, but he actually played the way TRK was setting up the save very well. Right as TRK turns in, it's that position behind the back of his car that he's going to have the hardest time getting to. Nwpo slots it there. Direct kickoff goal. Another tie game. 9-9. This is just crazy. Nwpo is watching it. He's trying to figure out what he's doing wrong here. And I'm telling you, one way you could change it is just delay, do something different. I mean, there's a lot of little quirks you can throw in 1v1 to just break up the flow of somebody dominating standard kickoffs, but neither one of these guys want to do it. Nwpo the save. The air dribble all the way from the back corner. You know he's going to get the reset. It's just about when. Never felt like he had a good opportunity to shoot it. He didn't get the bounce either. So TRK the save. Nwpo able to stop the quick shot. And look at the counter. 10-9. What a counterattack from Nwpo. If you're going to shoot, you better not miss, because he knows how to slam it right back on your own net. What a great recovery as he hit the ground to read the bounce. 20 seconds. And could you imagine a world in which Nwpo maybe fakes a kickoff in order to secure the game? No, of course not. He's going to go for a standard kickoff, and he's going to win 11-9. Or he's going to win this kickoff and go up 11-9. Not necessarily a win. Not with how much these guys have been scoring kickoff goals. TRK up the side wall. Needs one with slight urgency. He can't take his sweet time, and that's kind of what he's doing here. Basically has to just launch the ball at net. He knows it's over. Nwpo, is he opening the net up for one more clip? Or no, he is going to try and cover it. So we got a game 5. Nwpo versus TRK. Another insanely high-scoring game. But how will game 5 go? Game 5. Everything you could hope for, all down to the wire, in what has been one of the best performances in a day from Nwpo. But TRK trying to end the sweet run. He lost the previous game. He's ready to take it here in game 5. TRK trying to make arguments for best 1v1 player in the world. That starts by winning this game. Nwpo, nice backflip as he sees TRK giving a big enough window for him to steal it away. Nwpo elected to take a power shot. A rare decision, as every bounce setup like that has been cut into an air dribble. People can have a tough time covering out of this position. He actually does well. He's at the reset midfield, and he likes to flip away back to net. Whenever there's been space, actually hasn't been one to turn and challenge early. He likes to kind of flip back and stay at top speed. Maybe go in and out of the net, constantly stay moving as a way to keep the offender guessing. He's been able to get away with it at times. This time, TRK, a 50 in the midfield as Nwpo tries to come back and challenge him. Very intentionally not using that second flip in order to make sure his recovery is quicker than Nwpo. It's not likely that Nwpo's going to try and challenge with only a single jump into a wave dash, but TRK, who can be sure that he's going to get a square touch on the ball because he's the one setting up the play, knows he can get away with a single jump wave dash. Nwpo either DC'd or his controller DC'd or something. Oh, his ping. It's 552. I think we're going to see him drop out of the game here. 1-1 with 3:45 on the clock. 1-1, 3:45. 3:45 for when... Oh, goodness. For when he's back. I can reset it. Just let me know when. All right. Luckily, we've got match admin, so the reset is going to be nice and simple once Nwpo confirms he's ready to go again. I don't know what happened to him. Feer had a stroke. No, I didn't have a stroke. It's my mic blocked my keyboard, and so sometimes I'll line up my hands on like one key off, and then it just looks crazy. All right, 1-1, 3:45. So we're gonna pause. We're still at 1-1 because TRK didn't take his open net. 3:45. Start from kickoff. Confirm. Unpause. There we go. We're back in it. Nwpo having potentially some internet troubles. I don't know, maybe a controller disconnect. He didn't say. But we are back in this one. I think it was pretty obvious that TRK's free open net was given to him because Nwpo's controller stopped moving. Or sorry, his car stopped moving. So I don't think it makes any sense to give TRK a free goal there. So we will play it from the pause. TRK starting a dribble very patiently. And as I say that, he gets a really early flick before Nwpo really forces him to. Nwpo low on boost, turns, challenges right away. Rather not play a shadow defense on just a couple pads. The wall dash, he was going to need a few wall dashes in a row if he wanted to get an angle on the quick shot. He actually did chip this past TRK. He's looking for another tight angle. He doesn't get it. TRK will take it away and will counter it. Yeah, it was greedy by Nwpo, I would say. Obviously, it's really easy to say in retrospect, but those low hook shots, the only way he was going to catch TRK off guard is if TRK was going 100% into the corner. Was for whatever reason flying past the net and was trying to challenge him in the corner, then he could have caught him by surprise with that hook shot. But if TRK covers the net at all, which is what he's most likely to do, then he's going to be able to cover that hook shot. It's not going to be that dangerous. And not only that, but a low hook shot like that on the ground, TRK is going to have a really good counter out of it as well. So that's why I say it's a little bit greedy from Nwpo. Great save from inside his net, though. And he's going to die in the process of trying to set up the counterattack, and might even cost him a goal as well. TRK, bounce dribble. He got Nwpo to pre-jump. Nwpo can't cover the bottom left corner after the pre-jump. It'll be a 3-1 lead. Nwpo scared of the hook shot. That would have been the moment that TRK shot it. He actually did, honestly, a really impressive job of not completely leaving the play. He had quick recognition that he had made a mistake, and he uses the flip right away to kill his momentum and try and push him into that bottom corner, but it wasn't enough. Nwpo now, a bounce dribble on the other side of the field. Low 50, TRK handles it, clears it away. Not only that, he actually gets to the corner boost in time. It only dies after he gets his long shot, which is in! Nwpo throws the no as it falls just underneath the crossbar. The demo was too little, too late. What a shot. 2 minutes left to go. 3-goal lead. Nwpo. Does he have any magic left in that Fennec? He's had a ton of it so far today. Sorry. Oh no! The magic is out! The magic must be on empty. Oh no! No, 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 no! GG's. Oh, brutal. I'll throw the XD as well. Oh, man. Oh, I jinxed it. I asked if there was any magic left. There was not. Hey, credit to TRK. He just took down the best player I've ever seen in this match, man. Nwpo looked so good coming into this. TRK figured him out, though, after a bit of a slower start. And a dominant win for TRK at the end. He did a good job of controlling the pace and playing what he wanted to do as soon as he convinced Nwpo not to just triple reset him every single time.